Countdown. 3, 2, 1. We're live. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Basement Radio Arcade podcast on this lovely summer Wednesday evening here in the DMV. Ladies, lay back, take it easy.
That drill starting already.
Grab your favorite bottle of wine, maybe champagne. Pour yourself some Chandon, and let's do this as we talk some video games. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Brad. I'm sorry, man. I've been gone a whole week. This is what happens. I missed everyone. I missed ya. I missed you. I missed you, B Money. You know, I don't talk to you enough, B, except for on Twitter and we do our podcast. So, E, you know, I talk to you, but in slow mo, I kind of talk to you.
Of course, yeah,
when I can. But no, it's great to see everyone again. I missed everyone. You know, I feel like I need to get caught up talking about some of the more recent video game stuff that's happened since we last broadcasted. But hey, we got a quick big announcement to make this evening. For those who don't know, and this was tweeted out earlier today, the Basement Radio Arcade podcast is now officially an affiliate partner to the Inner Circle Network, or TIC, which B Money's a part of. And Eric, you're actually part of another affiliate podcast of the Inner Circle Network. So
yeah, man, I'm everywhere.
Man, he over there double dipping, man.
Yeah, he is. Like, he's on 2 affiliates. It's funny when I asked Anchorman about, you know, how to become affiliate. He's kind of telling me, I'm like, well, let me see. I was like, he's telling me about, like, you know, what, you know, some of the what's it called? Not what's the word I'm looking for?
Perks.
Not perks, but criteria. Thank you. The criteria. And I'm thinking to myself, well, so we got B Money. You know, B Money's a founding member, basically, right? More or less, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. B Money's been there since the beginning, you know. So we got B Money.
Day one.
Yeah. I'm like, that should give us entry right away, right? and then we got Eric, who's already part of an affiliate. So we're gold. We should be good.
So good credit score.
Yeah. My credit's good.
Came with the 900 credit score, man.
Yeah, I came with the 900 credit score. That podcast over there, they got 800. We got 900.
Like, Mr. Brad, we're going to be able to offer you a fantastic interest rate.
Yeah, right. Mr. Brad, come over here for a sec. We want to give you a complimentary toaster. But yeah, no, it's in all honesty, it's an honor, it's a pleasure, and you know, super excited to be part of the Inner Circle Network. You know, I've always been a big fan of TIC. That's actually how I met B Money. You know, I was listening to some of the early podcasts with, I think you guys might have been like one of the first with Phil Spencer, man. If I'm not mistaken.
The first.
Mm-hmm.
We are the first regular everyday guy podcast at first Phil Spencer. A lot of people try to copy and implement, you know, do what we do, but they can't, man. So we are the first, one of the only ones to get an everyday guy podcast at Phil Spencer, and the rest of the Xbox executive staff and members of the gaming media. So we kind of cornerstone that whole market, and people try to copycat what we do, but we are definitely the originators of that.
You guys are big time.
Yeah, something like that. We getting there.
Yeah,
we still working.
And when I found you guys, it's been about 3 years now. But it was like finding a podcast and like a network that was like in this sea of just crumb side, which was crazy.
Oh yeah.
You know? So yeah, it was like, you know, actually finding like a podcast that was actually reporting on gaming news and things like that, you know, still in an entertaining way, but it wasn't just about like, you know, being one way, one sided, you know. So that was definitely refreshing, because that was becoming harder and harder to find back then.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah. Yep.
Well, and I thought you guys, were when I found you guys were like Eric said, kind of a nice, um, alternative to what was all out there. It was all like blah 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 Sony,
Yeah.
and that was pretty much it. It was like it was these Xbox centric podcasts that were supposed to be Xbox centric, except 99% of the content was blah 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 Sony. It wasn't anything really informative or anything about Xbox. So, I gotta say, B, I think you guys, kind of really pioneered, at least in the Twitter community, those that console centric podcast where you actually, had these industry guests on. You guys weren't like journalists. You guys are just,
Right.
everyday, console gamers. You guys were passionate fans. You weren't fanboying out or anything. And you guys were one of the first to, or the first, as you mentioned, to have Phil Spencer on. And I thought that was really awesome. And you've had other industry guests on. And actually, B, it's funny. You guys were one of the reasons why I wanted to start BRAP, because I'm like, I really enjoyed what you guys were doing, and had a lot of respect for just the positivity and the guests you guys were getting. And I'm like, man, if these guys can do it, if I put a little work into it, like these guys have, I can, maybe I can get some guests, or I can set up another home, if you will, for people that to just want to come and talk video games without all the console war nonsense.
Right.
So, and I'm sure you guys inspired a lot of other people to do the same too, and starting their podcast, man. So thank you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Everybody who supported it from the beginning and build it up to what it is today. It's definitely been a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of emails and, things like that back and forth to kind of put, a good product out there. So I'm just glad that, people enjoy it and continue to support it. And, that's one of the reasons why I came to BRAP. You guys kind of we're doing the same thing, and, I appreciate what you guys were doing. So it was only right that I'd be a part of it.
Oh man, no doubt. And yeah, and and we're definitely looking forward to, Tick. I think there's a lot of exciting things, man, that are coming down the pipeline for Tick. Yeah, I think that you guys are going to offer so much great content and a variety of content to gamers. And it's funny. I've always thought of like, God, where can I go? Where can I go to get like just different type of gaming content? Like I always wanted like a channel, if you will, where I could get different shows or different content. You guys are doing that.
Yeah, man.
And that's awesome.
We're working towards something even bigger. That's the whole reason why the affiliate program has been put together. But we definitely working towards a bigger goal. And I'm just glad that we've been able to bring on some great affiliates. Some great podcasts and teams that are out there. So we are definitely working towards something bigger. And just stay tuned.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And also, with that announcement today, there's another affiliate that was announced. Our good friends over at Four Guys with Quarters. They're also now an affiliate podcast of Tick, and congratulations to those guys as well. We've had Inferno on, we've had Italian Clowns on before. Great group of guys. Congratulations to them as well. I was excited to hear that that they were added. So yeah, man, just looking forward to the future and what and what Tick has coming down the pipeline, man. So, all right. On that note, let's talk a little bit of video games. As we know, you've had to be sleeping under a rock if you didn't know this happened. But God of War finally released, and it's been described as a masterpiece. Perfect 10s. We've seen those across the board. If you've seen the God of War commercial, boy, you'll see some of the review scores. I mean, it's plastered everywhere. Sony's marketing as hard as they should, but I haven't finished the game. But I just want to get, because I don't think we really talked about this much since the last time we did a podcast. You know, Slim, I know you and I, when we did the Brap run, we talked a little bit about it. Remember my son came downstairs?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, before we go deeper, do we even introduce Slow-Mo?
Oh, yo, we didn't introduce it.
Slow-Mo, I mean, that's not a good start. That's not a good start. Come on, man. We gotta be better than that.
Yeah.
We're rusty people. We're rusty, that's all.
Yeah, you know what?
Man, we've been off a little bit, so mine somewhere else.
It's all good. It's all good, man. I don't need introduction. I'm Slow-Mo Backslap. What up? What up, everybody?
So Slow-Mo is our special guest. He's actually been on the Brad podcast. He joined me on 2 different occasions on a Brap rant. So welcome back to Brap, Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo's actually a co-host too of Lucas Scumcast, which goes live now, I think Sundays, right? You guys changed it?
It's still normally Saturday at like 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every now and then it'll be Sunday, depending on everyone's availability. But yeah, this one would be Sunday at the same time, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. All right.
I kind of wanted it to be Saturday.
Right.
And then it was like too many people was like, no, I can't do it Saturday. All right, Sunday it is. But it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be crazy. I can already tell you now the State of Decay discussion it's going to be flames.
Right.
Yeah. I could, you know what? I love Luke as a host because she throws out bombs. She throws out grenades and just sits back and just watches the damage.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's gonna be a good one with well, last week's was good with God, who was there? It was, I can't remember all the panel guests. I hopped on a little bit later. Kratos was there. J-Dub, big shout out to Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I don't remember.
Was it Nick on? Undead was on, wasn't he?
I don't know. Was he on? I don't remember.
Who you said?
Nick.
Yeah, that's right. Undead was on. That's right. He was there.
Mm-hmm.
Boomstick XL was there.
Yes, he was. It was a great stream. I loved it.
No, it was a really good show. It was a really good show. The guy with the flip phone wasn't there though. I forget his name. Yeah, Craig. Is that his name? Craig?
Yeah, Craig Harris.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Craig.
We call him Flip Phone Craig because he. It was like one of the streams when he tried to come at Luca, and then Luca was like, I think he was talking about how he said some old outdated term about his phone, and we was like, what kind of phone you got? and so then we start calling him Flip Phone Craig, and then he tried to tell us he didn't have a flip phone. So he turns on his camera and he's got a smartphone, but then no one was looking at the phone because he was sitting there in his bathrobe, and it was just like I'm so distracted right now. It was hilarious.
Wait, he was in his bathrobe?
Yeah, man. It was awesome. Shout out to Flip Craig. That's my boy. I like him. Man.
I like his nickname, Flip Phone Craig. That's like the best nickname.
For real.
I think it was either All Day or Luca. They asked him like what kind of apps he had on his phone. He was like, I got Messenger. Like what? Like which Messenger do you have? I got Messenger. He was like, okay.
Like what games you got? He's like, I got Snake.
Solitaire.
Pong.
Yeah, the new Minesweeper DLC is dope.
Right.
I got this other game called Screensaver. I don't know how you
Screensaver. Oh man, that is terrible. Hey, Ryan Landis in the chat says Craig calls his controller a joystick too.
And every console is a Nintendo.
Yeah, right. Oh man,
man, look, shout out to Craig, man.
Yeah, man, that's funny.
And he's so polite too. That's he's so nice.
Dude, man.
He is. Oh, excuse me, Luke. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. He's so polite.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, no, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. So, Slow Mo, we're sorry for not introducing you, but it's good to have you back on the show, man.
Hey, it's all good. I'm glad to be here, man. I've had fun on the two rants you added me in. I'm just kind of like, in the background while you just get something off your chest, and I'm just like, tell me why you mad, son. So it was fun, man. I loved it.
Why
they were good, man. Like both times you guys were on, like some good stuff going back and forth.
The one with my son was actually pretty funny.
That was great. I love hearing just this. The child perspective.
I was like, "Do you like Sea of Thieves?" He's like, "No,
no thought about it at all."
He didn't think about it. He said, "No."
Oh man!
And then I said, "What did I say to him?" I said, "Oh, do you like Xbox or PlayStation? Which one do you like better?" He said, "Xbox." So he didn't think about that. And then I asked him if you like Super Lucky's Tales. He said no. And I forget what else I asked him, but it was funny though. Like we were kind of going back and forth, and I kept calling him boy. I was like, boy. So he although he did ask me. He saw me playing God of War. He goes, "Daddy, does that man kill that boy?" I was like, "What?" It's like, no, he doesn't kill that boy. It's his son. So,
although there are times that I wanted to kill that boy.
Hey, okay, let's talk about God of War real quick. I know let's try to keep spoilers at a minimum. Slow Mo, I know you spoiled the ending for us before we went live.
Oh my god!
But that's okay, man. It's all good. So what is everyone's Slow Mo? Since you're the guest this evening, what are your thoughts of the game? Do you think you played the entire game? Is it a masterpiece? Is it a 10?
It is okay for me. I don't really give game 10s because for me, a 10 means it couldn't be any better. There are no glitches or bugs. It's perfect. I don't think God of War is perfect. I could say a couple of criticisms, but I don't want to sound like I'm nitpicking because it would be nitpicking because the game's awesome. It's excellent. For me, it's like the highest I can give it for me personally would be like a 9.8 out of 10. And I know some people would be like, okay, really? Just give it a 10. But
that's like a 10, man.
No, but if you don't throw some of those nitpicks in there, people say you pony.
Yeah. I've been called a pony and an Xbot all in the same conversation before. So I try to be as even as possible. But for me, playing through the whole game, the story's excellent. I love the story. I can't wait for the whole thing where Corey was misquoted, I think, by Kotaku by saying they were going to have 5 more games, and I got so excited. I was like, yes. But then he came out on Twitter and was like, nah, I can't do 5 more games. That's crazy. I was like, damn. But I love the story. The combat is amazing. It gets better as the game goes on. As you start to unlock more of the skills, you max out the skills for your son. I mean, it's wild. I love it. I did experience some bugs, glitches. One time I was a troll came out and I threw my axe at him and the game just froze for 5 seconds. And I was like, oh crap, it's about to crash on me. But it didn't. But it was just like, whoa, okay, that was weird.
That sounds as bad as Red Ring of Death.
Yeah, you're right. So I was really afraid.
Why you throwing smoking chicken, man?
Big shout out to my man Chicken Spaghetti, man. But I gotta throw a little shade at him right now.
Yeah, Chicken was talking reckless with that. I was like, that was funny. He had me laughing though. I was like, Red Ring of what?
They're like, Chicken, what are you Red Ring? What are you talking about, man? We're talking about loud PS4s, and you compare it to Red Ring of Death?
It's there was that, and then some of the chests, I would walk up to them and I couldn't open them, and then so I would walk around the area, come back, and then it will open. It'd be so weird. But I mean, this is like I said, that's nitpicking stuff. I love the game. I love playing it. I wish there was more to play. I just want I didn't want it to end. I was like, man, this game is so awesome. So I feel like it's kind of ruined Horizon Zero Dawn because I was playing through that, and then I stopped when God of War came out, and now I kind of don't really want to go back to Horizon Zero Dawn. But yeah, 9.8.
That's basically a 10, man. I mean, yeah.
The logic makes sense though. It's hard to you start saying perfect. I mean, anything can be perfect to anybody, but I get where someone's coming from.
I would give it a 9.95 because it makes my more run loud. Yeah. Hey, big shout out to Dealer Gaming's in the live chat. He says, I asked him, I said, is it a 10? He said God of War is fire. He says, damn close.
Yeah.
See, Dealer agrees with me. Thank you, Dealer.
So, and HDK 360 says a day one buy. Such a nice. All right, yeah. I agree with you, man. The combat it's good, but I'll give you my take in a sec here. What about you, B Money? What are your thoughts on the game so far, man?
Well, I haven't had a chance to play it too much because this has had a crazy 10 days. The day the game came out, which was a Friday, on the 20th, I played it for a little bit. The next day was my birthday, so that whole weekend I just partied and.
Dude, man, belated happy birthday, man.
Belated.
Yeah, thanks. So then just get back into work and stuff like that, and then the next weekend I was hanging out with family, and then it's just been crazy. So I haven't had too much time to play it, but I just got back from the first round, and what I've played so far, I'm really enjoying the game. I would probably agree with slow mo. I mean, there's definitely some small nitpicks and stuff like that, but I would give it as close to a 10 as you possibly can. It's by far the best God of War game I've ever played. Played too much of it, but I really enjoy the direction that they took this game. And I kind of knew it from the start when they first showed it. I was like, this game is going to be special. And it definitely is so far. So I got to continue to dig through it and play through it. I definitely want to get to the ending. A lot of people said the ending is really good. So just got to see it all the way through. But like I said, I'll give it close to a 10 as possible.
All right, man. All right. What about you, Eric?
Yeah, I pretty much share excuse me, the same sentiment. It's delivered on what I wanted from it, because after playing Ascension, I kind of said they either need to kind of retire this franchise or they need to kind of do something new with it. I didn't know if that meant bringing in a completely new protagonist, going to a different area, which we kind of got. But Kratos after Ascension, it just started feeling kind of like dated. In a lot of ways for me, I was kind of not even really understanding or remembering why he was angry to begin with, but he's just angry all the time, type of thing.
Zeus.
So exactly. Calliope.
Yeah.
So when they said they were bringing it back, I was like, that's what's up. And then hearing what they wanted to do with it, taking it to a new realm. He has a son, these different things. I was like, that's what's up. That's all I've been asking for. You can return to old characters, but do something to kind of make the proceeding different, freshen it up. And I think they definitely succeeded on that front. And I don't know if you guys remember, I was saying, you can kind of tell when Sony feels like they have a major player on hand, from the way they kind of start backing it. When they really get behind their IP with a major marketing push. They did the same thing with Horizon Zero Dawn. Even as a new IP, sometimes a new IP comes up, the waters get tested. They kind of, they dabble with some marketing because they're not really sure what it's going to do. But they got behind that game in a big way with collector's editions and big billboards and posters. Same thing with God of War. And I said, I think they feel like they really have something special on their hands. And we saw that, or we're seeing it. You've seen the effect it's had on Twitter, outside of console war nonsense or people, hating or taunting and teasing. Most of what I saw were people kind of coming together and celebrating a good game. And that from guys who are quote unquote Xbox guys who are quote unquote PlayStation guys. It's almost like there was no beef in between it. It was just coming together to enjoy a good game.
Boy.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's
yeah. So it's a good celebration. I wish we had more of that from time to time. So, but
Eric says something really interesting, and I 100% agree with about after Ascension, they really need to kind of make a decision on the franchise of either just ending it or just, spinning it off and doing something different. And I really feel like these big brands, these big name IPs that everyone kind of is always looking out for or wondering about, that when they become stale, maybe it is time to kind of switch things up. Because I can name a couple of big name IPs that have been around for over a decade. And now people just don't really like it. It doesn't have the same appeal when you hear there's a new one coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of maybe needs a little refresh, change the gameplay a little bit. Maybe it doesn't need to be a first person shooter or whatever it is. Make it third person perspective, change some things,
Yeah, and that was kind of one of the things I always said. Slow-mo, when it came to Kratos, I said Kratos felt like the product of his time.
Mm-hmm.
He came out at a time where a good portion of us who are gamers now were at an age where it made sense. Most of the time, we were angry, pissed off. We kind of could relate to some of that. I'll even throw in, like you said, other IP. We've had this talk on this podcast before. You look at Gears, you look at Halo.
Those are the ones I was thinking about.
And believe me, man, we've been in the trenches, taking those punches when we've kind of said, something needs to change with some of these franchises. And people are like, no, they're great the way they are. And I'm like, no, they're not resonating with people the way they used to.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at, I actually said this to Sam Tober, shout out to Sam, Tick editor, and Sam kind of agreed. I said, the feeling around God of War is a feeling that we haven't had in a moment where it has that midnight release feel to it. And he knew exactly what I meant. We haven't had many games this generation where you're like, the midnight release. Yeah, the midnight release felt real, where people were lined up at the GameStop to go get it. Most people are like, I got a digital, or people are like, I'll pick it up tomorrow. You didn't remember how rocking through the 360 of Halo released, that joint was on MTV. It was on the news. People were talking. It was like you could feel that energy.
Yeah.
And that was sort of that feeling around this game.
Yeah. Hey, big shout out to Sam Tolbert waving his God of War Platinum trophy around.
What's up, man?
Yeah, he was grinding, man. He
was, man. He was. Good stuff, Sam.
Yeah. But as far as my feelings on the game, yeah, like I said, the story has been really good. And I'm a big fan of Greek and Norse mythology. So that's right up my alley.
Yeah.
I love the gameplay. When I first saw the whole Leviathan axe thing, I was kind of like, that's going to be interesting because we're so used to the Blades of Chaos or whatever you want,
Let me ask you guys something real quick. What do you like better, the Blades of Chaos or Leviathan axe?
I like Leviathan, man.
Leviathan is beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leviathan is Go ahead, Slow-mo.
I feel I'm trying to say this without saying too much.
Right.
I'm gonna say I like both.
You like both equally?
Yeah, equally. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
And that's fair. That's fair.
When you guys get further game, no,
don't say it.
I'm not saying anything.
OBJ is the axe. I'm kind of leaning towards the axe. I'm kind of leaning towards the axe.
And I'm close to almost done with the game, but it's just what the little details that they put into the game are like really cool. It's like you could throw Leviathan and you're in the middle of a fight, and it's like you go to hit the button to swing the axe. Like, oh snap! I threw the axe. I need to get it back. And then it's like you can throw it into one enemy, like they're frozen. Then you can punch that enemy, and then they'll fly into the next. Or you throw the axe, and wherever it is in the room, it flies back across, trips two guys. It's like just little things like that. It's like I pay attention to. That's like really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And for the first time, they actually made you care about Kratos.
Yeah.
I felt for him in the first God of War trilogy because of some of the loss he had experienced to an extent, but then I think after a while you probably lose that a little bit.
Well, no, that's exactly what I said a little while ago. It's like,
I think any of those games from last gen that were just mostly hack and slash games, like Devil May Cry and things like that, you just get to a point where you don't really care about the character. You're just in there to wreck shit. You know what I mean? And no matter what the story is, it's like, all right, I'm just trying to get to the next point, fight the next boss, and move on.
That's true. Yeah.
it started to become about how awesome the animation of hooking, you know, an ogre or a Cyclops in the eye and slamming them down, and, you know, it off. You know, it became about the beast mentality or the brutality of the game as opposed to the motivations of Kratos.
But the game still has that element of brutality to it. I mean, that's still there.
Yeah, and that's the thing people were so worried about was like, there's no jump, there's no platforming. I'm like, they address all of that in a way that you don't really miss the way it was done.
Nope.
I didn't miss the jumping at all.
Yeah.
Everything makes sense. That's the thing. This world that they built, everything makes sense for the proceedings. Like the way the side quests are set up, the way the pacing of the story and the game kind of happens. Remember how, you know, people were like, you spend so much time in the boat. And people were worried about that. The boat makes sense for how you get around and traverse, you know.
Yeah.
The story, and they made it in like the stories that are being told while you're in the boat, like the little quick jokes or, you know, Mimir telling you stories and things like that, you know. It all kind of ties in together.
Dude, by the way, real quick, let's go to live chat. Big shout out again to Mr. Chicken Spaghetti. Chicken is giving some spicy takes in the live chat. He's saying earlier he said that he thought he liked God of War, but Yakuza 0 and Hellblade he felt were better games. And he just said, I literally call God of War the poor man's The Last of Us. So much potential, but didn't do it for me. I've had better. Interesting perspective.
That is interesting.
That is a very interesting perspective.
That is you know, Chicken, you get the spicy take of the evening in the live chat, man, because that's a spicy take, man. Look, and there's nothing wrong with his
like the Last of Us story, but like gameplay, there wasn't much to it. So I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for, I guess.
Yeah, I actually didn't. I really wasn't feeling the gameplay of The Last of Us, but I struggled through it because the story was so good.
Right.
So like I just lived for the story to finish it because, you know, it was that.
Right. So when did you play The Last of Us? I'm curious.
I played it the remaster on PS4, like when the remaster came out. I actually bought it twice, which is I bought it on PS3, got the PS4. I actually traded in my PS3, and then it was like, oh, well, okay, I just get the remaster and finish it because I started it and then I didn't finish it, but then I had to start it again on the PS4 and finish it down.
Oh, okay. And the reason I'm asking too is because I think there's something that kind of happened, like The Last of Us, because I noticed people that kind of came to it late. I think what happened to them is they became the victim of the people who played it on PS3 or very, very early in PS4, like right at that tail end. It's like they have like a very fond like thing that kind of happened around it. But then they heard so many people probably being like, oh my God, oh my God. It's like one of those things that starts to build and build and build. And then it's like what you get is like, can it really ever live up to what you got?
Yeah. I see what you mean.
What you've been hearing, you know, because I noticed that people kind of came late to it. They're like, it was good, but you know.
Yeah.
You know, and not in a bad way, but you know.
Yeah, I feel you. It's always like that when something is just like it's the next great. You have to play this. You have to see this. Yeah. With games or movies, it's like, oh wow, this must be the greatest thing ever. And then you play it, and you're like, he knows this is good, but
yeah. Well,
and then you watch that person's face crack when you say it was all right. You're like, ah!
Yeah,
pull my soul out.
So true, man.
Well, you subconsciously set that bar high, you know, because everyone's hyped it up so much.
Yeah, and you know, everyone can tell what quality is, but like greatest game ever or like greatest of the gen, you know, these kind of labels we put on things, it's so subjective. It's about what your personal feelings are. For me, last gen, nothing beats Mass Effect 2. I don't care what anyone says. Mass Effect 2 was the greatest game of last gen by like several miles to me. But like everyone can recognize that game was awesome. But some people may be like, you know, it was great, but you know, and it's not really about like what your personal preferences of what gameplay are, you know. And I
think that probably happens a lot. Like the biggest games that a lot of us gushed over, like people who maybe just got into gaming, like younger games, are like, oh, okay, or you know, people who just never got around to it. it's just that thing. So sometimes I even tell people, like, don't. That's it. Tell me to play it. I'm good. Don't overhype it to me because I don't want it. I don't want that.
You want that setup, man.
Yeah, I don't want that bias.
Yeah.
And I don't want that, yeah, don't give me that setup too much. Like if you like it, it's cool. But yeah. And that could end up happening with God of War as years go by. You know, you're like, oh my God, that was just the experience. You gotta play it. And people are like, yeah, it's good, but okay.
And you know what? It's like nostalgia can really play tricks on you too.
Ooh, yes,
it's like,
facts.
Yeah, with my Xbox, I got so many like BC games. Just like, like I remember a couple years ago when they brought what was it, Lost Odyssey?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I loved that game when it first came out. And I was like, yeah, they brought Lost Odyssey back? Yes.
Yeah.
I still actually had the disc. So I popped the disc in and I'm like, oh.
I did the same exact thing.
What
thing,
am
man.
I thinking? I mean, this is okay, but what? You know, like I felt the same way about Final Fantasy VII on my iPad. Like, and this was initially when they made the big announcement at E3, and I'm like, yeah, they're bringing it back. But I'm like, they better not mess with the gameplay. This is a classic. This is a classic. And then I played it on my iPad, and I was like, nah, they gotta update that because it's just not. Oh man, just it's some of the dialogue, the gameplay. I'm like, you know, this is a great game, but Father Time has not been kind to it at all.
Yeah, that does happen, man. But nostalgia is powerful, man, because I mean, that's why the remaster market is so strong. Because you know you can, and I'll say this too. I think that's why you get so much vitriol, like on Twitter, when people go at each other, because that little kid inside is always going to defend what, you know, made you happy or made you feel good at that one point. Because I mean, as you get older, you know, life's tougher and tougher and tougher. You just want to harken back to those moments that made you feel the best. So you feel like somebody's challenging it, and it's like, I'll tear your throat out. You know, it's like, wait a minute, y'all chill out. It's just, you know, it's just games. And it's like, no, sometimes it's a little bit more than that. And nostalgia is powerful. You know,
absolutely.
So yeah, man. But but Chicken's still going in there, man. So Chicken, I want this same level of deep journalism on State of Decay 2. I know you're looking forward to that.
Oh man. Jay Fonzarelli, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on tonight?
Lord Baker.
Jay's back in the building. What's happening?
What's up, man? It's good to be here. Man, I just got I was out to dinner with my daughter. It's her birthday today, and
it's my son's birthday today too.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, so then I get home and I get this link in my Twitter feed, and I'm like, okay, I'll jump on.
Always good to have you, brother.
Yeah, always good to have you, Jay Fonz, man. Glad you could join us, man.
Hey, no problem, man. What you guys talking about?
Well, we're just talking about God of War and
man,
you know, some impressions, you know, and is it done, you know, stuff like that.
How many weeks are we going to talk about God of War? Because I mean, this game is so, you know, man, it just seems like it's infiltrated everybody's lives, and everybody who's played it has said, you know, it's magical. Even some of the haters out there have played this game and said, oh, you know, at least said it's okay, it's pretty good, you know, for a Sony game.
It's one and done. It's good for a one and done.
That discredit game is strong, boy.
Yeah, like I love that. Like and so this is actually one of the topics, this one and done narrative. Like I've seen people say this. Oh, it's a great game, but it's one and done. I'll never go back to it. It's one and done.
Yeah.
Is it multiplayer games automatically equal like money invested or whatever? You know, it's like automatically worth all your dollars. I mean, there's been some multiplayer games where you're like, man, I got ripped.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, honestly, I hate that term "one and done."
Me too.
Because I mean, a lot of people go back to games. You know, I don't usually play games over single player games, that is, but like Red Dead Redemption, I'm sorry, I'm about to play it a third time because I love that game so much. So one and done isn't in my vocabulary, because I've played some games up to, you know, 250 hours, like Fallout 4. I played like 250 hours of that game. before I beat it. And one and dones is just not. That's a fanboy term. It definitely is.
It is. It definitely is, because here's the funny thing, and you don't really you usually get like fanboys that throw that out, and people who want to try to discredit.
Yeah.
But it's the same cats that'll be like, "Oh my God, Red Dead Redemption is backward compatible and it looks amazing in 4K." It's like, that's a single player game. So is that? I mean, well, it's got multiplayer also, but
yeah.
I mean, there's so many games in BC that are single player only games, so you can't. And you want to return to them, you can't sit and kind of go one and done games or whatever. They don't have the value. And I mean,
I got to give it up to Chief in the chat. You know, Sea of Thieves was a one and done for me.
I'm so savage, man.
It's like this, you know. I mean, all games, you know, are subjective. You know, we like what we like, but at the end of the day, if it's a great game, you know, and the general consensus is that it's a great game, you have to give it props. You know, you can't just sit there and say, "Oh, it's a one and done game," and write it off as such. You know, because there's so many people out there who are praising this game, and for anybody to shit on it, look, if you don't like the game, I understand that. If you honestly don't like it, but let's not go overboard and say, it's not a good game universally, because universally you're wrong.
You know?
Yeah,
because that's the thing. You know, people say, well, if a game that I can't return to later is $60, you know, it's not worth it to me. You know, there's no replay value because there's no multiplayer, whatever the case may be, and it's a one and done experience. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, people pay $116 to go stay in a Disney World in the hot sun for 8 hours for one day.
Yeah.
That's a one and done experience, and not always the best experience, but people do it.
Have you guys discussed the State of Decay concerns? I don't know.
No, we're gonna get to that. Yeah, we're gonna get to that shortly. Yeah. That's another interesting conversation.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't call multiplayer games here for now.
Here for now. Well, yeah, because ultimately multiplayer games really follow trends, right?
Right.
And like PUBG, the whole battle royale thing is trending right now, and that's the big thing. But now that Cliffy B's on board, it's going to die. It's going to die.
That's wow. So Jay, are you saying that when Cliffy B releases a game now, that means that whatever genre specific the genre's dead? Oh, Cliffy B's coming out. It's the end of that genre.
Well, of course, I'm joking, because Overwatch is still a juggernaut. But Cliffy B, man, that guy's he's a sorry, sad sack, man. I swear, that guy's just following trends to try to hit that next $1 billion game, as he says.
Oh, Jay, you just said it, man. Because I said the same thing in the NLG Discord. I said his problem is he's chasing money, which leads him to chase trends as opposed to trying to build something unique and then let that bring him the money.
Yeah, whatever happened to
that sounds familiar.
Whatever happened to developers?
Did you guys remember like a lot of the screenshots and like concept art that he put out for like the game before Lawbreakers came out?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, so the game that he was actually talking about that he pitched to like Microsoft before Lawbreakers, it was actually more of like a open world third person adventure game. And he had like this great concept art that he had up. It was like in 2013. Because he showed it off when he was at PAX East in 2013. And like the game looked great, but I don't know whatever happened to it. So that was some of his creative stuff. And then whatever happened to that and that dissolved, then now he's just chasing trends. And it's sad, man.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely sad.
You think Microsoft should hire him?
Hell no.
No, he's toxic, man. I mean, take Lawbreakers, for instance. Like, from the people that I heard that played it, and I didn't play it, but for the people that I know that played it, they said it was a decent game. It was.
I heard it was
a good experience.
Lawbreakers, it was a good game.
But like,
don't push him away. Sony needs to say, "Hey, we don't want your games, man. Come back with something innovative."
It's like it's part. He's toxic right now, and people actually like actively won't even consider his games because of his like the stuff he says on Twitter,
right?
How he went after Fortnite and he goes after everyone, and it's just he doesn't do his games any favors.
He's damaged his brand.
Yeah.
You know, pretty much. And the thing is, it's like, I mean, the industry, as you know, is very fickle. I mean, Cliffy, there was a time where, you know, he could write a check. I mean, as far as like, you would probably throw money at him and be like, hey, whatever you need to go do it, right? And that's the kind of like notoriety that he carried. But I think as time has gone by, people is like, whoa, it's like he doesn't carry that same weight anymore, you know? And it sounds like what you guys are saying is like he's like the P. Diddy of the gaming industry right now.
Wow. Except P. Diddy's still making money though.
Well, he's making vodka money. That's definitely you can make more money with that. But if you wanted your hip hop career killed, go to Bad Boy.
Wow.
Take that.
Come on. Take that. Bad Boy.
Think about it, man. Think about it.
What did Suge Knight say?
Hopefully, you know, this latest nonsense that he's been doing will humble him a little bit. Maybe he'll go sit his ass down and put his mind to something. You know what I mean? Like,
I thought that was gonna be Lawbreakers, B, but he came right back. Like, I got the greatest thing ever. Let's go. It's like,
I think he had that in his back pocket
in like 6 months or something.
Yeah, I think he had that in his back pocket, and he was just, you know, something he was playing around with, and he was like, all right, let's just release it. Nobody's playing Lawbreakers. We can make money off of it because people are playing the game and they're making money off of it. So
that's a passion project.
Seems like they're always like a year too late with his games. You know what I'm saying? Like with the trend. Like Overwatch was out a couple of years, and he brings out Lawbreakers. Now Battle Royale games have been out for over a year. Now he brings out this Radical Heights. It's just like, dude, you're too little, too late, and nobody cares about you. I mean, if he wasn't such an asshole, too. I mean, let's be real. The guy's an asshole.
Yeah, but that's why Twitter isn't for everybody, and I've said this many times. Like a lot of our favorite brands have assholes at the top. But they're not in the public eye. They're not on social media. I mean, we don't get the chance to see who we're really supporting at the end of the day. Because they're protecting their brand. But when you have somebody who works for themselves, they're an entrepreneur. They're on social media and they can pretty much say and do whatever the hell they want with no repercussion to themselves. Besides, hurting their brand, like. That's when you see who people really are, and you get to see who Cliffy really is. That's all.
That's why some of these devs they have community managers. They have people who are professionally able to deal with fans, deal with the criticisms, deal with addressing the public without embarrassing the company. I think a company that really a dev that really does that well is Digital Extremes that makes Warframe. Their community managers are awesome. I've seen some stuff that people have said to them, just like, whoa, wow, man, that was me. But like they just take it on the chin and be like, you know what? That's an interesting point. We're gonna think about that. We'll work on that. I'm just like, what?
Behind the scenes, you're like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, behind the scenes, they cussing them out, but they put on their professional face, and they know what speaking their mind sometimes, even though someone may deserve someone to speak their mind to them for saying various things. It's just there's nothing good that comes from it, and Cliffy needs that. He needs someone to be like, okay, your Twitter account's gone.
Damn, you know what's
Twitter, and
what's funny? This wasn't even a topic, and we're talking about Cliffy B for like 10 minutes now.
I know.
He's like, see, I still have power.
Man, you're giving too much.
Right.
We're giving Cliffy B too much airtime.
Yeah.
Too much shine.
Yeah. But real quick, I want to go to another topic, State of Decay too, because we just recently got some previews. Eurogamer released a preview. Most of the previews that I haven't read like the entire previews from some of the different game sites, but I think most of them have been fairly positive. I think that the two that kind of stand out as being kind of concerning are the Eurogamer one, and I think the GameSpot one. Eurogamer talked about bugginess. There's the issue of tethering, but I've seen. I hate to bring in Twitter, because Twitter isn't exactly I think always the best barometer in terms of how all gamers feel or what people really think about a game like State of Decay 2. But Jay Fonz, I know you put out a video, and I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. I caught the first couple of minutes on my way to work. But you had an interesting take on it, and why don't you share your take on people, I guess, more or less kind of freaking out almost in some ways.
It might not be a popular take to have here, but I just think it's a logical one. Okay, so based off Eurogamer alone, people were putting out videos saying that this game was trash, and when these people haven't even touched the game yet, not even a beta, nothing, they didn't go to PAX, they didn't play this game. Like some people I know have done that. Okay, the Iron Lords, they've played it and they've told me about it, and they said, if you love the first, you're gonna love this one. And I loved the first. The first game to me was fun. Another thing about this game is the fact that this game was never meant to be a big AAA blockbuster game. Was it one of the highlights that Xbox has been pushing? Sure. But this game itself wasn't a big budget title to begin with. It was an arcade title. This thing is an indie game. This is a small developer game. So graphically and stuff, I wasn't expecting a powerhouse. Did I get a little better than what we had in the first? Sure. Is there a lot less jank? Yes. And that's one of the things I didn't like about the first was all the frame rate issues. That is gone. So to me, like the outcry from some people, not everybody, but some people that were trashing and dismissing this game based on a Eurogamer article, you're a fraud. And the reason why I say that is because you haven't touched it, but you're basing your opinion on someone else's opinion on playing this unfinished game that he played. And to me, I think that's unfair. And you're just doing a disservice to yourself as a gamer and to Microsoft and everybody else. Because look, at the end of the day, as a gamer, you shouldn't want to hate things based on other people's opinions. If you really don't like a game, you should base it on your own damn opinion. And look, I get passionate about this kind of stuff. And one guy chewed me the F out yesterday in one of Zaire's comment sections. He laid into me, calling me bipolar, asshole, and, call me gay in a not so nice term and all this stuff. I mean, he went down a list of insults because I get passionate about certain things in gaming. And it always comes down to the games that I get passionate about, not consoles, the games, because that's what I give a shit about. And if this guy would take 1 second to step back and think about what he's saying to me, at the end of the day, if you watched any of my videos, if you've heard me talk before, I top 3 favorite games. 2 of them are Sony's and 1 is a multi-plat. I don't hold any allegiance to any one console, but to say that I'm an Xbot some days and the next day I'm a pony, you guys got to get real. The stuff I get passionate about when I talk like this is about the games. That's it. Not Microsoft, not Sony. The games. This rant.
No, it's a great point, man. I think I had some concerns when I was reading about some of the bugs and stuff like that. I only played a little bit of the first game. I didn't get into it because I got killed by zombies right away and just gave up pretty quickly. But
it's a tough game. It's a game about balancing resources, and not everybody's going to be into that kind of game. So if people were expecting this to just be a hack and slash, killing zombies, a la Dead Rising,
no, it's not Dead Rising.
Wrong. This is you have to team build. You have to build up a base. There's permadeath. There's all kinds of shit you have to watch out for in this game. And that to me was so intriguing in the first. It had me hooked despite the frame rate issues. This game looks to have solved that, given me what I got in the first. And I'm excited about that. The co-op, I'm a little disappointed in the tethering, but it might not be that bad because we got tethering in Far Cry 5. And to me, I had a blast playing co-op in Far Cry 5, and I didn't really get bothered by the tethering at all. So hopefully it's not that bad. But man, to me, if you like the first game, there's no reason based on one article that you should say, I'm no longer looking forward to this game because this guy had an opinion about it that I don't like. It's bullshit,
About the tethering, I'm actually in the Undead Labs Discord, and a lot of the people that were in there were just hammering the devs with questions based after the previews from GameStop and Eurogamer. One of the devs said that the tether it's nothing like the tether for Far Cry 5. And I actually dealt with that in Far Cry 5. Like, it's almost like I couldn't be outside of, like, say, a short range with the person I was playing with without one of us, being teleported to one another or something like that. But this guy said that it's 450 meters from the host, and he said either that or it's like a quarter of the map. So essentially, like, when people were saying
like
things,
Destiny. So it's more like Destiny then.
Yeah. So when people were saying things like, well, what if I want to go clear this gas station down the street? Well, you're going to be able to go clear that gas station down the street. But I found it interesting because, like Fonz, I'm a State of Decay fan. Like, I played the hell out of that first game, and I actually have a playthrough. And I said I'm not playing it no more after this because I actually got all my survivors through with no deaths in my last playthrough. So I feel I know the ins and outs of the first one enough. I know that the second one's got some different things in there as well. But if it's more of the same, I'm all in. And if I'm going to play solo, then I'm fine with that because the first game was all single player. So
Slow-mo, the guy in the Eurogamer article even said it's more of the same from the first. Yeah. So that right there is what pissed me off when people were making videos saying it's going to be terrible. It's the people that were saying, I was looking forward to this game, but after this article, no longer am I looking forward. He said it's more the same, dumbass. If you were looking forward exactly.
Like, how are you no longer looking forward to the game? And he said it's more of the same. And it's a lot of people who've never played the first game and are just mischaracterizing what it's about. Like, here's something for the first game that people should know. Like, your most important trait or characteristic for your survivors is stamina, cardio, because you need to run. There is no, I'm going to He-Man this whole area and kill all these zombies. No, you're going to end up dead.
That was my mistake in the first one.
Yeah, because
I played it like.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I played it like what's it called? Dead Rising. I thought I was going to go in there. I saw the guys earlier. My first experience, I think I picked up like a chainsaw or some kind of saw. I'm like, yeah, it's on, right? I'm going to kill these zombies, and I killed like one or two, and then they just started coming out of the woodwork, and I got overwhelmed.
Yeah,
and that was it. I was done.
You're not supposed to shoot your gun too much, because you make too much sound. You shoot your gun, you just draw more to you. You're gonna run out of ammo. Like, you can't keep fighting all the zombies because your stamina gets lower the more you fight, to the point where your dude is just like, you can barely move. And you're trying to run away, and he's doing this like teeter thing, and you're just like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. It's exactly what ends up happening. You get ripped apart.
And it's permadeath.
So another mistake people make with the first game is that they only like, oh, I got this one dude. The first guy you get is Marcus. He's awesome at everything. So people overuse Marcus. And so they want to go do everything with Marcus because he's fast, he's strong, he's smart, and he can fight. But then you don't switch him out to someone else. He needs rest. He doesn't get rest, his stamina gets lower. You keep fighting with him over and over, his stamina gets lower and lower and lower. Next thing you know, he's dead, and you can't get out, and you didn't do anything else with your other survivors. Now you got to build them all up, and now you also still need food, you still need medicine, you still need materials to build and fortify your base. It's a deep game, and it was just an Xbox Live Arcade game.
That's awesome. Not for everybody either, That's why some of these people that didn't play the first were under a totally different impression of this game, I think, And look, if it's more of the same, I'm happy. I don't understand all the and it's not like they marketed it as a freaking big AAA game. It's $30. I mean, that's been said a month or so ago, at least.
Yeah, I think you had like people in the community trying to push it off as like a AAA title. I think that's where a lot of that was coming from. I don't remember anybody from Microsoft or Undead Labs like calling it like some definitive AAA experience.
No, I don't think they ever said that.
No, I think they said they were pushing for a AAA like experience.
I think what it is because Microsoft was pushing this as one of the big three for this year for them. But it's because that's all they got is these three. I mean,
That's all
what
they
do you
got.
want them to do? Sit on their hands and say we ain't got nothing? No, they have to push something. I mean, come on. Like these people are being unrealistic, unfair, and just juvenile. Honestly.
Let me ask you guys something real quick. I mean, just given the how deep this game is, it's probably because I think my understanding is that the folks that were previewing the game for about 3 hours. I guess in 3 hours, how much of I guess an appreciation or or view of the game entire view of the game can you actually get? I mean, if you're talking about gathering resources and base building, I mean those things take time.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think 3 hours is enough for them to kind of get a good idea of how deep the game is, or is it is it just too? Is 3 hours just not enough time for them to say, hey, you know what, this is what the overall experience is probably going to be like?
But we know the overwhelming a number of previews for it were very positive.
No, yeah, they were.
And I think it's enough time. Actually, there's one that I heard about that not too many people are talking about, and you guys may know Andrea Renee.
Yep.
Yeah, she did a preview on her channel about it, and she actually said something that was actually really concerned. I mean, I'm a big State of Decay fan, but I was feeling her on this. She said she played it for 2 hours. She absolutely played the Xbox One X version, and it crashed 3 times. And for me, that's unacceptable. That's absolutely unacceptable for you to pull out I don't care if it's a beta build, but this is a person who has a following, who's going to definitely go to her following, who may or may not buy your game, and tell her impressions, and it crashes 3 times in 2 hours. Like, I don't expect it to be that bad when it comes out, but that you got to fix those kind of bugs and glitches. That has to get ironed out before the game releases.
Definitely. Yeah, I think another problem with this game too, with the backlash is, we just had God of War release. Okay. So of course you're going to look at God of War and you're going to say, damn, look at what Sony's got, and then look at the other side and feel a little underwhelmed. I mean, that's going to be a natural feeling, but you just have to put it in perspective. And that's what I was trying to drive home in my rant last night was it's all about perspective with these games. You gotta understand and be logical that certain games are AAA big budget titles that took 5 years to make, and others are more indie or AA games that aren't up to that caliber. You can't compare every game. Not every game is competing with the competition in that respect. We have to. It's about perspective. That's all I can say.
Yeah. And also, there's another thing that people were concerned about was the co-op. And they were, and I think coming off the heels of Far Cry 5, that also has a tether in co-op, and also has a host and guest where the guest doesn't get any story progression. And people, I think, immediately took what Ubisoft did with Far Cry 5 and said, oh, this must be the exact same thing in this game, where the devs actually explained that too. And so in this one, they're saying that all the story progression is very dynamic. So if you're in someone else's session, you wouldn't get the same exact missions that you would get in your own session. So it's not like you're missing out on anything. When you go back to your own session, you have your own missions that will be different than the person that you were playing with.
See, we have guys in the chat like Chris Jones who's saying another broken AA game. This is not the answer. See, you have people like that jump to conclusions. Look, we don't know if the game is broken or whatnot. Look, Sea of Thieves wasn't broken. It was just unfinished. Let's be honest. The game runs great. It's just there's nothing there to play. It's chasing pigs, chickens, or looking for treasure. That's it.
The Kraken is lacking. And
the Kraken is definitely lacking. But we have no idea. You haven't played the game. I haven't played State of Decay 2. The game could be smooth as butter and not have any issues once it comes out day one. We don't know. If it is broken, if it is feeling unpolished or something's wrong with the game, you better believe I'm going to talk shit about the game. I'm going to put it out there and put my 2 cents in because I am looking forward to the game. I'm going to keep it real regardless. All of us here would.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing, it's okay to be concerned if there's issues, with demos and stuff like that. But I wouldn't necessarily write off a game based on a beta build or a demo.
And here's the thing: all these dudes have to do, though, Enrique, is just type into YouTube State of Decay 2 gameplay. There is hours worth of gameplay on YouTube from so many different outlets. I've not seen bugs and all crazy shit going on, or the game's not working, or things broke. I haven't seen that yet.
No, the stuff the IGN put out. I mean, I didn't see anything like that. I mean, the game looked like it ran fine.
Oh, you mean IGN? They're biased.
I was going to say the bias corporation.
We're not going to talk about the picture.
Hey, they would be the first to put it out there if it was broken, right?
Yeah, WBIAS coming at you.
There'll be memes everywhere.
Yeah, welcome to WBIAS. WBIAS, home of the ponies.
And you know, the bugs I heard them talk about was like sometimes the zombies would be stuck in a wall or something. You know what? I've got that in God of War. I had a one of the what are they called? One of the lower enemies is stuck in a rock. Was that a big deal for me? No, I just went on my way. It happens.
Yeah, actually, that happened to me after I killed an enemy. I beat him up against the wall, and he got stuck in the wall. And
yeah, sometimes stuff happens.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
No game's perfect.
Issue to me.
Right.
But when it comes to like big game breaking bugs, sort of like Kingdom Come Deliverance, people, holy shit, the crashes in that game, dude. That is unacceptable. I put over 200 hours into the game and had to stop playing because of the game breaking bugs.
Yeah, or like Mass Effect Andromeda, where I think it was at one point, like halfway through the game, if you went back to the Citadel station, if you tried to get back to your ship, the game would immediately crash every single time, and it was like it took them 2 weeks to get that fixed. So it was just like everyone who was playing that game would just get to that part and they'd be stuck. And there's a lot of people just quit after that because they're like, who wants to deal with that? That's a game breaking bug. I can't finish the game. Like,
yeah, Chris Jones said that IGN showed some clear bugs. There was a girl that got.
I didn't see that.
Well, okay, but here's the thing, though. You know, we had that Ghost Recon game, and you would be, if you had a friend with you, he'd be glitched on top of the car too, running with the car and shit.
Yeah, I saw that all the time. But you know, this is an unfinished game. You know, I say all that about glitches when it comes out. Yeah. When it's the finished product, you're looking at betas, they're like 2 months old, you know?
Oh man.
I think the developer said that some of the betas are like they're older builds. I think they confirmed that.
I don't condone bugs either. I don't want to put that out there. Like, I don't understand like why nowadays we do get a lot more bugs and unfinished products now. It's sad, but
because the publishers are pushing.
I think not just that.
Go ahead, B-Money.
No, it's because the quality assurance isn't there, and they know that they can patch it day one. Every game has a day one patch now. Every single one.
Yeah, that's what I was speaking on Twitter the other day. I was saying like it shouldn't be acceptable because it was being said like well, every game has bugs, every game needs to be patched. And I'm like, but that's what we shouldn't be like just opening the door and say yeah, that's how it is.
I think we opened that door. I think we opened that door when we went digital. I think that's when this all transpired was, when that started happening and we could implement those patches day one. That's when they said, you know what, we can put this out now. We'll fix it later. And that's some bullshit. Developers, please work on it.
Because back in the day, if you did that with your game back in the day, you just had a bad game.
Right. Your game is done.
That was it. It was a wrap. There was no, fixing it later.
Oh no, it was a wrap. Yeah.
Yep, your game was Enrique's favorite game, E.T. You fell in the hole, you were done.
The game that single-handedly killed the gaming industry. Yeah. B, to your point, though, about, the quality assurance, I think some of it, too, is, if I'm not mistaken, with some of these big publishers, like them having to meet deadlines because they've promised shareholders that, X amount of games or this specific game is going to release in this time frame, and they're
in this quarter. Yeah, they gotta get them quarterly earnings, man.
Yeah, they gotta get those earnings. They gotta get those game done. So they rush them out.
Yeah. We see
that really reminds me of Bungie and Activision with Destiny.
Yeah.
That there's apparently, and it's funny because Activision kind of was well, we didn't force them to do this, but it's almost like a mafia saying it's like, you they gave them an option that they couldn't refuse because they pretty much had to do, release the game at a certain time. I think they have some kind of like revenue goals they have to hit after the game, once the game launches, and then at certain periods after that. And so that's why with Destiny 2, they moved to that whole, we're not going to do big expansions like we did in the first game that everyone loved. We're going to go to these little small updates that really didn't work out too well with them. And so, it's unfortunately that stuff like that really impacts the experience for us gamers, because the whole motivation of doing those kind of things has nothing to do with making excellent games, making an excellent experience for us to play. It always ends up being something that has to do with money and getting more money. And making it sure that your developers can get that bonus that they're
No doubt, man. It's definitely, I mean, this definitely is it's $1 billion industry. So, I think unfortunately, revenue, money comes before putting out a good product. But I do agree with what you said, Eric. I don't think we should be okay with developers releasing.
No, I mean, especially if they're like, hey, let's just get out the door and we'll fix it later. It's one thing if you ship and then something like that got by, QA or got by testing, it's like, oh, that something happened once it got out into the wild. But hey, we're gonna fix that real quick.
Yeah.
Or a stability patch. You can always throw a stability patch, and no one's gonna be pissed off if you throw in like a few megabyte stability patch that's just gonna make the game run a little bit better. But we're talking like Assassin's Creed Unity level type stuff.
Oh yeah, we're like you had to download the whole game all over again. The update was bigger than the game.
Yeah, it was
it was like 40 something gigs. Right.
That shit was ridiculous.
And my thought process on a lot of this is a lot of times it comes down to platform specific. People willing to give the pass, or franchise fan specific. If you're a big fan, it's like, well, I'm willing to give them the pass because I've been anticipating this game, or this is my favorite platform, whether it's Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. I'm willing to give it the pass. And it's like, no, we need that Mass Effect 3 ending level of community unity. Send them some cupcakes of whatever they said, to get that new ending. You gotta have. We don't have that kind of unity anymore. We're so busy fighting each other.
Facts.
Mass Effect 3 was a multi-plat, so we could all get together and say, them 3 colors was not cool. I had a love interest that you just ignored with these 3 colors in the same ending, no matter what I chose. No. It was like a universal no all across.
You know what, Slimo? I would agree with that, but now we're in the point now where even if you had a marketing deal, depending on who the marketing deal fell with, people side with side with their platform. It's like look how many cats pissed off about people talking about Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All of a sudden, Tomb Raider's
it's a multi-plat, but people are defending certain things based on
that headwind. That headwind.
It's like stop. Yeah, we need that unity again, man.
Yeah, we do.
Send these cats some pissed off donuts.
I keep telling people. We've said this many times on this podcast. People remember the whole fiasco over your favorite thing, Jay Fonz, loot crates, Star Wars, microtransactions. We talked about that back then, and that's the kind of stuff that people should focus on instead of fighting with each other or some trivial shit that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
That doesn't really have any real life impact on us.
Stop fighting over consoles. Let's fight the good fight for these games. Fuck the
fight for better games, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Mass Effect 3 thing was unless you guys can correct me, it's the last time I remember
that's the last time we were united.
Yeah, that's the last time I remember gamers coming together and fighting a company and saying, no, this wasn't good enough. Fix it.
Well, maybe Battlefront, the last Battlefront. I think that's.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. With the microtransactions, I think.
Yeah.
Loot crates. Yeah. People spoke.
Or was that more so like Disney saying, "Hey, hold up, it's a lot of money on the line. You cannot be messing. We Get a lot of dough for this franchise.
I think it's probably both, man.
Yeah, I would say it was both because without the gamer outcry, I ended up getting the kind of the hooks of mainstream media. Because I think it was when Disney finally made that call to EA and was like, what's going on?
Mickey Mouse is a boss.
Yeah, I think it was like BBC made an article about it. I mean, it hit like big mainstream that like gamers were not happy about this. This was like the game is going to not sell as well as what they thought. And Disney's like, whoa, you're not going to have all this shade coming on our IP, our franchise right before our movie comes out.
One thing you got to remember too is everybody, all of us in this community, we got to realize how small our little community really is. I mean, we've got a lot of people that were even damage controlling, you know, the stuff going on with Battlefront 2. But we are a tiny community. We are so insignificant in the grand scheme of things, and people don't really put that into perspective. You know, it's the people that we surround ourselves with on Twitter and stuff, they are just a small fraction of the entire gaming community. So we don't really get to see some of the stuff going on sometimes because we're so stuck in a bubble. And I like to point that out because a lot of people don't really think about that. We just look at all these people that we're surrounded with like, really, is this the gaming community? No, it's just really a tiny fraction, man. These people are nothing. We're all nothing.
Exactly. And then we take that little nothing and we fragment it even more down to like community platforms. I mean, platform communities, I should say. You know, it's like we'll throw you out of this community type of stuff, and it's like it's already small. You know, you can like reduce it to even smaller little fragments. You know,
we got to be right. If this was the entire gaming community, oh man, some of these people are barely human beings, man.
I'm out. I'm out.
Oh my goodness.
I can't do it. I'm out.
Speaking of human beings, I'm sure most of us saw the Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer.
Trash.
Garbage.
Garbage.
Hey, Enrique, I don't condone violence, but I will cut you. Look, this trailer came out, and look, it hit me in the feels because I'm watching it, and then all of a sudden I see John Marston. I'm like, you know, I see a glimpse of him in the back, and I go, "That's John." And then it shows a close up of his face with the fresh scars on there, and I was like, "Oh man, dude, I got so psyched up. I was so pumped." Red Dead Redemption, guys, my favorite game of all time. So, part 2 is just, man, I cannot wait.
Probably one of the best endings of any game last console gen that I can remember.
It's the ending saddest ending. Oh my god!
Yeah, man.
But great game though. I mean, this is my most highly anticipated game of this year. God of War. Well,
it's too because God of War came out and it's so damn good, and it is currently my game of this generation. Can Red Dead 2 top it? I don't know, because God of War gameplay is honestly some of the best gameplay I've played ever. It's that fantastic.
I tell you what, Jim, we'll have some damn fun figuring it out.
But yeah, Red Dead. Look, I'm so hyped for this game. I took off a week vacation for that game.
Nice,
nice.
I'm ready. I'm ready. And Rockstar claims,
no serious right there.
Well, they claim there will be no more delays. It's coming out that week.
Let's go.
Yeah, when they showed the date again, I was like, I was pretty confident that it's coming out.
Well, it's definitely coming out because like every company is avoiding October like the plague. Just like we can't release our game in October, which is making it really interesting because it seems like everything's coming out in September now.
Right.
I don't know if you guys heard this either, but since it wasn't a gameplay trailer, tomorrow there's various media outlets who did get 40 minutes of gameplay. They got to play the game. They're going to give their impressions tomorrow.
Nice.
They might not show any gameplay. We don't know. It's not confirmed, but they will give their impressions tomorrow.
Nice.
I'm excited for that.
I'm thinking this game's going to be another banger.
It's Rockstar. It's Rockstar. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Like I love when I saw the trailer. You know, you see, it looks like another compelling story, compelling characters. The lighting.
Name one Rockstar game that didn't do well.
Bully.
No, I think Bully actually did pretty decent.
Did it?
I think so.
All right. I go with another one. What's the one?
Oh, you know the one that I don't think did
Manhunt
well
or something?
Not Manhunt.
No, that
State of Emergency.
State of Emergency.
Yeah, State of
Yeah,
Emergency and Rockstar Tennis, table tennis, are probably the worst games.
Come on.
What about Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball?
I think that one did really well for some reason.
Actually, I think that actually did so well.
Yeah.
So,
You know, can I make a confession?
You never
What you
played
got?
Red Dead Redemption?
No, I played it. I didn't finish it.
Oh, okay.
And I it's one thing that just like I was so mad that I didn't get
You
around
got
to
plenty of time
finishing.
to finish it now, though.
Yeah, go. Hey,
This summer I have it. I have it BC on my Xbox One X. So
Yeah.
I'll
It's
play
beautiful.
4K
Bro.
this summer. I'm gonna burn through it.
slow mo.
Hey, yo,
It looks yeah, like Jay said, it looks beautiful on the X. Like it really does.
can we talk about that Undead Nightmare DLC? How good that was too.
I didn't play the Undead Nightmare DLC.
Oh yeah, that was pretty.
Hey, give them your podcast. Nah, I mean, for real, you got to go back and play that, man.
Yeah,
That DLC was awesome.
good stuff. That's what it makes me excited for what they're gonna do with multiplayer this time around.
Mhm.
You know, what I mean, I think they really got a lot of potential. They've seen how GTA 5 was able to grow with a lot of their online stuff, and I think they can make Red Dead live just as long as GTA. It might not be as big an audience, but I think they can definitely provide a online community for that game and kind of have it rock out for a couple years.
I
You
think
think
they
that
have
way
a
that's gonna be
formula now with that. That's going to be pretty. I mean, if you think about it, GTA 5 is still selling
Yeah.
now. It still shows up on the charts as like one of the top 20 games sold. GTA Online still gets a large number of people still playing it. I'm pretty much expecting Red Dead's Online to be just GTA Online as a Western. You know, because they have to do something like that, and they'll have their shark cards or whatever they want to call it for this, but they have a proven formula that works.
I'm one of those guys who love Rockstar games for their stories and stuff because they're always pretty compelling. They're always pretty good. I even played GTA 5 and loved that game. I didn't even touch the online stuff. It didn't interest me. But especially when all the microtransactions and stuff was there, it wasn't for me anyway. But yeah, I play it for the single player stuff, and I'm glad they're focusing on the single player still with Red Dead Redemption 2. Of course, they'll have that multiplayer, but they're focusing on the single player. They made that.
I don't know, Fonz. It's going to be one and done.
No, I don't even know how many hours I put into Red Dead between the two playthroughs. I'm telling you, the second time I was playing through it, which was just last year, I'd be on Xbox party chat with people as I'm playing, and they're like, "You still playing that game?" And it was like 2 weeks later, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm still playing because it's fucking amazing, dude." But yeah, so many hours.
I thought it was great. I actually like it better than GTA 4 and 5.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I really do.
I didn't like GTA 4. I never finished it.
Yeah, Nico Bellic got on my damn nerves.
Yeah.
GTA San Andreas is the best GTA game ever.
Facts.
Actual factuals.
Yes, facts. Anyone in the live chat debate that with us right now.
And here's the reason. Here's the reasons why.
I think that's the only GTA I ever finished, to be honest.
GTA 5 was good for what it was. You played between 3 different unique characters, and that was fun.
That was kind of, I'll give them credit that they pull that off. That's not easy to do.
But when you look at a GTA San Andreas, it had a good story. And when you played through, you got to do so many unique things. You can pump iron, get CJ bigger. You can mod your cars and do all kinds of shit to them that you couldn't even do in 5.
Yeah.
Like, they took away so much out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I used to go to the gym a lot with CJ.
Well, you just let him eat donuts all the time, and you just turn it like this.
You get like fat, yeah. He used to get real fat, yeah. I used to take him to the gym to pump iron.
Well, MK48, you're a fraud, bro. San Andreas story did not get boring in the middle.
Yeah. No, it didn't.
Story was pretty good.
He's saying Vice City had a better story. I would say
Vice City. Vice City's my second favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna say Vice City is my second.
Yeah, that was a good story.
Yeah.
You know, I never played the Ballad of Gay Tony, which I've always heard was like really good.
I heard that's good. I've never played that.
Yeah, I actually just recently installed it on my X because I had bought it on 360 but never got around to playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that it was on a BC list, so I was like, maybe I'll get to this one day. Just went ahead and installed it, so I might check it out.
For me, Vice City was so good because of the 80s era and the music.
Yeah,
that was my time. So,
and
the soundtrack.
The soundtrack and Ray Liotta voiced the main protagonist. So I mean, come on, who doesn't love Ray Liotta?
I mean, that was coming right off GTA 3 with Claude, who had no voice, but still
no voice.
A super compelling character who said nothing.
He was a mute. Yeah. It's great.
You know? Yeah. Yeah, but Nico Bellic, I was like, I'm done. I'm good.
He's my least favorite out of all the GTA characters.
Yeah. That's my least favorite GTA game.
Yeah.
I hated the mission structure in that game.
It's not terrible either. I played through it and I liked it. It's just not the best.
Mm-hmm. Mm. No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah. All right. So Grand Theft Auto was not a topic, but so real quick, guys. Before we wrap up, anyone thinking about getting back into Destiny 2?
No.
I'm done.
The Warmind releases next week. No interest.
I got too much of this stuff.
Still haven't watched the update on it to see what it's actually bringing. It might be something I'll play over the summer. Like I really don't have a shooter that I'm currently playing, so I can always return to Destiny and get busy on that for a little while.
You know, I said I was done with Destiny 2 when Bungie got caught lying about the experience. But lately, you know, I've been playing with some of the guys in Lucas Discord, and we got together and just had fun, just doing some Crucible stuff. We did the Iron Banner, I think, before. No, we didn't do Iron Banner before, but I think we're going to give it a shot tomorrow. I don't mind doing the Crucible. You know, I already own the game, so it is what it is. But I'm not sinking any more money into Bungie. Bungie's not getting my money anymore. They're gonna have to try to bring me back into the fold with Destiny 3, and it better be on point. You know, it's other than that, I'm not spending any more money on Destiny 2. I will play it every now and then, though.
Hey, this just in. Crackdown 3 could drive Xbox One sales, according to Michael Pachter.
Which means
I don't believe that Michael Pachter says.
Which means
that's actually a Gaming Bolt headline, and I'm just like, dude, anybody who believes anything Pachter says at this point needs to just stop, man.
It's always the opposite with him.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Always. Wow.
Like Slep Rock. Wowsy, wowsy.
You know, because he said that means the game's going to bomb.
But
he's a mush. He's a mush.
Yeah. But hey, wait. So you guys don't have it. So, but the one thing with the Warmind DLC is that the raid will be available that week, next week, the Friday after releases, or Friday that week that releases.
Okay. Who cares?
Man,
this is what Enrique does, though, man. Like he'll be like, "I'm done with Destiny," and you're like, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm out." And he'll be like, "Yeah, man, I'm about to pick that up. We can roll through it." And then it's like a couple weeks later, like never played. It's just sitting there. Hey, I got all that Destiny 1 DLC just sitting there chilling. I ain't falling for that no more, man. I'm with something, man. Like, I'll say though, I jump in and do like some PvP stuff like that if you guys do it, but I'm not giving them any more dope.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, B?
I will say it all depends for me on what Battlefield 5 is. Whatever this next Battlefield is, because I usually only play like one shooter a year. And since the new Battlefield is coming out this year, it should have my interest. Fingers crossed that it's closer to what Bad Company 3 could have been, but we'll see. I mean, there's still talks of it being like a World War II game, and that might not have my interest. So I might just run through Destiny in the holiday season because I'm not playing Call of Duty. So
I really feel like at this E3, and I'm not talking about any particular company's conference, but I feel like we're going to get some shooters that aren't really a part of the conversation right now. They're going to come out this year, not just your Call of Duties and your Battlefields, but maybe something different. Like maybe actually Borderlands 3 is coming out later this year instead of early next year, or Division 2, or
Borderlands will come out next year. Take-Two isn't going to release Red Dead and Borderlands at the same time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Wait, is it Take-Two or I thought 2K was the Borderlands publisher?
Yeah, but Take-Two is the parent company, so they won't release a Rockstar game and a 2K game at the same time.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I mean, at least I don't know. I think the Division 2 might be a possibility because they did this for current Division players, and I'm a big Division player. They gave us like a roadmap of this year, and everything since that, like all the content they're dropping seems to end at like September. And a lot of the content leads to, if you do this in the Destiny 1, it opens up something for you in Destiny 2 kind of stuff. So I'm thinking like, they might actually be dropping like in November or something like that. I don't know. But might be some other shooters out there.
Hey, B, Nels Cody wants to know about your leaks on Twitter.
Oh man, just something I heard about. Through my industry connects that we should see something that we haven't seen before from both Capcom and what was the other one that I was talking about? Oh, WB. Multiplat games, but they'll be shown on the Sony stage. And there should be a Capcom game shown on Microsoft stage that we haven't seen as well.
Now, is this stuff we've seen in the past, meaning sequels, or?
There's a sequel to a major franchise that we haven't seen in a while.
Nice.
And then one of them is a new franchise. So pretty interesting stuff. If it's all true. And usually with my connects, it's usually pretty true. So
B Money said my connects.
Wow. Excuse me.
My connections told me that my connections told me that Crackdown 3 is terrible. Hey, I'm not kidding. I was told that by some people that say they're in the know, but yeah, I guess the campaign's still trash.
Oh my goodness.
Multiplayer though is on point. I guess they're saying that the destructibility and everything is actually in there. So
yeah.
Well, good. That's good.
That's what I was caring about anyway.
Yeah.
Game Pass. I just want to play the multiplayer.
Yeah. And I heard it was like 2 different dev teams that was working on the single player and the multiplayer. And then the dev team that was working on the multiplayer hasn't done anything with it in months. So they must be finished at this point, if that's the case.
So they're trying to get that campaign.
Yeah, they're trying to get that campaign. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
They got to make it a real campaign. It can't be that, shoot 'em up campaign that we've known from Crackdown. Like the expectation from gamers today is just higher, and it can't just be this, run around, shoot 'em up, game. It's got to be deeper than that. So, if they got to take their time to develop a deeper narrative or a better campaign, then take your time. I'd rather be the game be better than what people expect than to come out and just be another dud. You know what I mean?
Come on, B.
What if they got Terry Crews for more than just the promotional stuff? Like he's actually voiced the character in the game.
Yeah, I mean, he should be the leader of the squad. He should be like the guy who's like trying to, coach you up and trying to put you in place, and be like, you should be a rookie, and he should be like your mentor. You know what I mean? There's so much potential with that franchise to grow it bigger. You know what I mean? We were talking about earlier how, you just get to the point and you have to make changes, to the franchise if you want to continue to grow. You know what I mean? And I think Crackdown is one of those games where like you could really do something with this. You know what I mean? Like this is your opportunity to either create, team of superheroes and things that you can build upon in the future, and then not just be this random game that people have fond memories of. So
based on what we've seen of the campaign, though, I gotta say, if you want to play the Crackdown killer, it's already out there. It's Saints Row 4, same type of.
Oh yeah. Saints Row. I think Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 4 were better games than what Crackdown intended to be. You know what I mean? And I think Saints Row just went a little too far left.
Oh, it's silly as hell, bro.
Yeah, and that's why they're in a predicament where they are, where they had to do the Agents of Mayhem, where they should just made another Saints game, and you know what I mean. That's a whole nother story. But you know what I mean. I think Microsoft could learn some things from that, and you know what I mean, just implement something different to Crackdown to make it a fresh, new experience.
Hey, I know what they could do. I said this yesterday too about another game, but they could give him a kid. They can give him an
boy.
It would be amazing.
But I'll tell you what I don't want to see in Crackdown 3. I am so sick of stupid. Well, yeah, Crack 1, but like the stupid rings, like jumping on rooftops and jumping through rings. I don't want to ever do that again. Like that. Like Superman 4. Like cut all of that. Like cut all that out. That's not like
chasing orbs, man.
Content.
You're gonna be chasing orbs, bro.
Chasing orbs.
Oh gosh.
So you get your powers.
Oh yeah, the orbs. Yeah,
the orbs.
I think the rings was the cars.
It was the same thing with Saints Row 4. You jumped for the orbs. And yeah, same thing. But I don't know. To me, the Saints Row 4 was a fun game because it was just silly and there was a lot of funny moments and stuff. I had fun with it.
So, hey, B-Buddy, real quick, man, is the Onimusha thing true? Have you heard anything about that?
I mean, they did their trademark. I don't know if Capcom is actually going to bring that back. I mean, there's rumblings that it's probably just going to be like a PS2 thing that comes to like PlayStation now or whatever.
Okay,
that's why they kind of renewed the trademark for it. But you never know with Capcom. You know what I mean? Like they've been doing this a bunch of random stuff lately, and they just did the whole Mega Man thing, and they've saw a lot of revenue from that, and they've hit a lot of things on the Switch, and saw some revenue from that. So you know what I mean, they may be going back to the well, and if they hit us with a remaster with like the first 3 games and new Onimusha, like I'll fucking lose my mind, man. I love those games.
Yeah, Onimusha is a good game.
One game that's near and dear to my heart that I'm hearing bad things about is this whole remake of Final Fantasy VII. Like it sounds like they're not even started on this game. They're like hiring people to do stuff for and I'm like, what?
We may not be here anymore when that game that game. We may not be on this planet anymore, man.
Yeah, I
kids would be talking about
it. That's just one of those things where like it's like Square Enix should have just kept that in house. And
yes,
I mean, like that's one of the highest regarded Final Fantasy games. So that should have stayed in house, and they should have just worked on it themselves from the beginning. When you start, letting third parties work on, what I mean, your story franchise, what else do you expect? So they let them work on it. It wasn't working out, and they took it back from them. So now they got to scrap it and start from scratch. It's a sad thing.
It'll release with the PS6.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna be like a
and it'll be buggy and need a huge day one patch.
Yeah, right. Patches by the time we get to the PS6 will be like 200 gigs or something crazy.
Man,
what I'm really interested in from Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics is what they're doing with that Avengers game, man. I think
that's gonna be interesting.
It's got a lot of potential, and some people have been saying it's gonna play closer to like a Destiny. I mean, where you play with your friends, and it's sub open world. So
nice,
it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I heard about that earlier today, and I was like, just thinking about that, like a Destiny kind of game, but with the Avengers with like superheroes. I was like,
you know what that sounds like? Sounds like garbage. That's what it sounds like.
Like, I wish they would make a proper, game for consoles that you can play sort of like MMO style with, make your own superhero type thing. I wish they would make something like that.
Well, isn't that the DC universe?
Yeah,
but they had the Marvel Heroes, but they pulled that game.
Yeah, I played DC Universe back when that first came out, and that was fun for a little while, but I want something better than that.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't that great.
Yeah, it was because the mechanics and I don't know, it just wasn't very balanced.
Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the podcast for the evening as we went through all of our topics and added some additional topics, but that's what we do here. We just talk about video games. So real quick, just want to say thank you to both Slow-Mo and Jay Fonzarelli for joining us tonight. Gentlemen, always a pleasure to have you on. Brap and Jay Fonzman, we got to get you back on more often, man.
Yeah, definitely, man.
We got to figure out how to make that happen. So, and Slow-Mo, is always a pleasure having you on, man. Even though I forgot to introduce you today.
Wow. I got you, Slow-Mo. I got you, man.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I have fun every time I'm on, so I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And we gotta get flip phone Craig on sometime. Oh my goodness.
Why does that sound like a character in a Tyler Perry movie or something?
It does, dude. It really does.
I don't know how you're gonna contact him. You're probably gonna have to find a way to talk him through getting Twitter on his phone as an app first, so then you can send them a direct message at some point.
Apparently, Nels Coney knows who Craig is too. Everyone knows him. I'm wow, I didn't know that. All right. Hey, Jay Fonz, where can people find you, man?
I am Captain Neutral, and I send this message to any logical gamers taking refuge among the toxicity of social media. We are here. We are waiting.
And you can find me at Jay Fonzarelli on
God. Yeah, we were laughing. Can you repeat that again?
No. Repeat what?
Where people can find you. I think.
Jay Fonzarelli. Jay Fonzarelli.
All right.
Everywhere. Thanks. Twitter and YouTube.
All right. Awesome, man. Well, thank you again, Jay Fonz, man. It's always a pleasure. And Slow-Mo, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Slow-Mo Backslap. You can also find me at the Ash and Lucas podcast, usually on Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. This Sunday, and sometimes it's on Sunday, so this will be this Sunday at 1 p.m. and it's called the Scumcast.
Be honest,
we're super scummy.
Be honest, that show is whenever she says it is. That's when
it's true, because she can just be like, "It's gonna be Friday night," and everyone's like, "Well, why Friday? Because it's Friday night." And you're like, "Okay, all right,
you better be there. She'll cut you."
Yeah, exactly. She gives me shit sometimes when I can't make it. But no, it's a great podcast. I always have a good time either being part of it or listening to it. So definitely check out Scumcast if you guys can get a chance to. And yeah, so as we mentioned earlier, we are actually officially now an affiliate of the Inner Circle Network. I put a link on the bottom of the description of the podcast. Definitely check out the YouTube site and the website to the Inner Circle Network. Let me tell you something. Great group of affiliate podcasts and podcasts on the Inner Circle Network. As you mentioned earlier, B Money is actually B. Are you were you one of the original founders? Just one of the guys that joined early on when Tick came out?
Nope, I am original.
All right. So there you have it. So B Money has been there from the beginning, and you can check out his podcast, the Tick Podcast, which goes live every Saturday night around 10. Is that 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time?
10:30. Or 10:30? Whenever Wood decides to start the podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, all right. Awesome, man. Well, go ahead, Jake.
How does it feel?
How does it feel to have sold your soul to the devil?
But yeah, no, that's great that you're with the Tick Network. You guys are like blowing up. You guys got a lot of people over there, huh?
Yeah, man.
That's pretty good.
I was telling people earlier, man. It's like the NWO, man. We're recruiting everybody.
It is, man. It's crazy.
For life.
Yeah, congrats, though, Enrique. That's awesome, man.
No, thank you, man. Like I was telling B Money, I've always admired the work that they've done, and the positivity and everything, and great group of guys over there. And it just felt like kind of just made sense, to reach out to them because I know they were looking for affiliates and thought it was a good match, and here we are, man. So definitely excited, happy to be on board, man.
Plus, you got so many people that have surrounded you that's been with Tick for a while, so it's natural.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. We've obviously B Money's been on the show for over a year now. Eric's on 2 affiliate podcasts on Tick, so we don't know how that happened, but it happened. But Eric's been Eric's double agent. Eric's been here for a long time, and then NLG's an affiliate. We've had guys on from NLG, Mike Mullis. We've had on numerous occasions. 4 guys are quarters, was just announced as an affiliate. We've had those guys on here.
What you're saying is you were the only fraud left out.
Pretty much. And then we've had the Iron Lord. We did a co-podcast with him. Lord of the Arcade. So yeah, so there's definitely been a connection there.
Yeah, we got to do it this month actually.
Yeah. What's funny is that Lord King and I were talking about that. He's like, man, what's up with this? What's up with this Lords of the Arcade, Brad? We didn't do it last month. I said, nah, we couldn't do it because, schedules and everything. And we're trying to, not this weekend, but probably the weekend after. I think we'll probably end up doing it. But I'll let you guys know. That's the one that we did back in, I think, March was really good. A lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely enjoyed that. But keep an eye out for that. I'll let everyone know when we decide to do with the second Lords of the Arcade. So all right, gentlemen, on that note, hey, big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you for everyone stopping by and hanging out with us tonight. If you haven't done so already, remember hit that like button, subscribe as well, tell your friends about us, tell your mama about us. We're a good group of people who like to talk about video games, and we have fun doing so because that's what gaming's all about. And it's a pretty bad Godfather voice, but I don't care. So I'm hopped up on Benadryl. All right, everyone. Have a great evening. We'll see you guys next week, unless I decide to do another Brad rant. Peace.
Peace.
Boy.